All right, guys, this is just a quick video just on the folders that almost everyone, I think, Ryan, you're getting yours Tuesday.
That's today.
Is Ryan coming over in a bit?
Yeah.
Right, Ryan, you'll be getting yours in a bit, but fuck me, I thought it was Monday. No. Okay, for everyone else, obviously you've already had your folders, including a couple, the starter guides, and this one I asked Sam to kindly do for me, the keywords. Because it's bloody handy to remember certain things, like what cumbersome does. You know, things like that. How many times do we forget the cumbersome rule? One rule I think I've forgotten in every single game I have: leader. You know, as long as you're a guy with a keyword of leader is on the table, you get +1 dice to your morale injuries. So you might not necessarily go into shock or fail. Yeah, your morale check. Thanks, love. Anyway, onto your folders. Okay, so we all start off, we've all got our basic crusade thing. So you want to get these sort of sorted out and filled in. If you want to be really professional, you can do it with pencil and use a rubber and all that for amendments between the games. But if we can get these ready, just so they are, and that's just what I'm on about. So, of course, we've got the initial thing where you might want to put in your faction, your sub-faction. You might want to draw a pretty picture for your insignia, or a big fat juicy cock if you have the Heretic Navy, guys. What I've used for my war chronology at the moment, all I've done is I've labelled who my patron is, and I'll come to the patron shortly because you will need to choose one. And then everything else, nice and straightforward. People that are currently elites go on to the first page, and then everybody else, what troops you have with all their rules and all that. Well, you know, any modifications to armor once you've bought armor for them, all goes on there. You can print out almost exact duplicates as well of this if you don't want to write them by hand, because a compendium does print them out to look like this. Just bear in mind, you're going to have to scribble on it between games 1 and 2 on Sunday. Then we have our sections. So the first section, the warband rules, should be different in everybody's folder. It will be the section from the rule book. For example, mine, I have Trench Pilgrims, so I have that. And then if you have a sub-faction at the end, like I do, as a Sacred Affliction, Red Brigade, Navy, etc., all those players will have that. You'll just have the extra rules at the back. Now, what you could do, which will make your life a hell of a lot quicker and easier, for example, I have made a few modifications to my armory. Now, because I'm a sub-faction, that does change certain things. I'm not allowed my machine gun, for example. I'm not allowed to wear the typical Iron Capriots, which is the big pointy Ku Klux Klan heads most Trench Pilgrims are wearing. And certain limits are changed because I'm a melee-focused faction. I ditched that, and I'm only limited to 1 punt gun, not 2. But I do gain certain armors and stuff, so I've just jotted that in to make it easier. So it might be easier for yourselves to do that. And then also, between games, when you go into the armory, you've got this main section, so you know your cost and ducats in your warband, so when you quickly upgrade in between game. But if you want to check their stats of weapons, you've obviously got the weapons and equipment section. Again, I've only highlighted ones that I can actually take, so that way it just makes things a little bit easier to find. You might want to be doing the same. Third section, allies and mercenaries. As soon as you start getting glory, you are going to want to be milking this section. Again, when you're going through it, it can be more helpful for yourself to highlight the ones you can actually hire, so you know straight away whether or not you can have them or not. The last thing you'll need to do, and you'll need to have this sorted out before Sunday, I will be doing some more videos on this campaign book over the next couple of days to explain what to do between games for experience and injuries and all that, etc. But to start with, the very beginning of the campaign rules, you need to pick a patron. Now, not every patron can have. So, for example, Trench Pilgrims, the only patrons I could have was the second and third one listed. So I've highlighted the one I have. Now, what these will be is when you can upgrade experience, you might be lucky enough to pick your patron and go to his experience. And here's the thing, you don't roll these, you can literally pick and choose the best ones. But honestly, check out the patron abilities, have a good look. Some factions, like you Red Brigade players, will have about 3 different ones to choose from, but I do believe some are very limited. For example, because you're Lust, Sarah, with the court, you'll only actually have 1 patron to choose from. There is another one that's for, say, greed, you know, but because you're that, so you're just limited to the one. But yeah, check them out. Make sure if you do have a choice, you know which patron you are before we start on Sunday. Okay, cheers.